Hi guys, my name is Maureen. I work at Amor. We have two branches. One is in Kilimani and the other one is Nyayo Estate Embakasi Gate D. When you come at Amor, it's not about selling for us. We offer the best customer service with a memorable experience. We do men clothing, that is shirts, jeans, khakis, shoes, sneakers. For ladies, we do office dresses, we do dinner dresses, we do heels. We also have flat shoes. For kids, we do dresses for girls. We do shirts for boys, trousers, any kids outfit you can want. You can get us on Facebook at Amor, on Instagram at Amor_Kid.
It feels good when someone compliments you after a good job well done, after a good presentation, after even a good meal that you have prepared and so on, after a good hosting, say you've done to guests and so on. And it just feels good for really human beings to just notice the effort that someone is putting in, and this cuts across. Any human being feels good when they're complimented, whether they're kids, whether they are students, whether they are employees, whether they are parents, spouses, champions in whatever space, and so on. And this also includes our brothers, sisters, colleagues, neighbors who happen to be living with a disability or two, who also are in the same spaces we are, whether it's at work, whether they're being parents, whether they're being, leaders and so on. Everybody just feels good, and this includes those as well. Now, it however makes a total difference when it comes to really complimenting someone here and who happens now to be living with a disability, where really some sensitivity will be required, so that really you keep it to the compliment and not deviate it to like what they're struggling with. And number two, so that you also just keep it to the theme, to what is happening during that time. Hello everybody, and welcome to Naomi's All-Inclusive World, where today I'll be looking at complimenting, and specifically just complimenting people who happen to be living with disabilities. What you need to remember when complimenting them, and what you really need to intentionally avoid. Because sometimes it's not so much about I already said it. It's not so much about I'm sorry I said it. Sometimes like let's just know when not to say it, or when we have to say it, how to say it, so that then it comes across meaning well, like we do in our heart. All right. So one of the practices that really you will be encouraged to have when you are complimenting anyone, and anyone here could be like, say, for example, your nanny, could be your driver, could be your kid who has done well in school, could be just anyone in your presence who you are now giving a compliment, is try always to keep eye contact. Imagine you giving me a compliment and you're looking in another direction. It feels like you're here with me, but you're not. So this cuts across. Just always make sure you keep eye contact with whoever you are giving praise, with whoever you are complimenting. It makes it feel real. Okay. Keep the conversation or the compliment, really the praise, within what is going on, like I said in the introduction. So that, for example, say if today's conference was about making local delicacies, local foods and so on, keep the compliments within the subject at hand. So that then it was, damn, I like the way you actually did your presentation on that particular food. I like the way you did set up your presentation table. I liked the way you organized your team. I liked the way the testing of this particular thing was done and so on. Let the compliment stay within the subject at hand, within the theme of the moment, so that then now you don't deviate and think you're actually being nice, kumbe you're crossing someone badly. Okay. So a few of the things you can probably try to say when you're trying to compliment me who happens, and in this case, who happens to have a disability. And remember, again, in this case, some of these disabilities are physical, where you really can look at me and tell that I lack this. Some of them, you might only know that I live with them by me telling you, or if you've been there while I experience them, for those that are not visible and so on. So again, here, it's just across all types of disabilities. some of the things you can actually say is your outlook on life is amazing. So that then it's actually, it's concentrating on that person's, view of life, on that person's really like, just outlook of general life, and not specifically looking at like, concentrating on one particular thing. Sometimes keeping it general is good and safe. You just light up the room. If, for example, let's say the person's presentation was wonderful and everybody like was alert and everybody was kept, on their toes and felt like part of the team and so on, you just lit up the room. You look great today. You looked great at your presentation. You looked great at your team's leading. You looked, and so on. Keep it as general as possible and within the subject at hand, so that then again, the compliment is just not for the sake of it, but it's very relevant for what is going on. Because say, for example, the event is, just showing what is on display today. Say, for example, even in the clothes store that I'm doing this shoot today, which actually then just, thanks really to Amor for giving us this space to do this shoot. Amor is actually a clothes store and a wear store where they actually, dress as well for the different events, straight from the kids to the adults. Say, for example, the event at hand is actually about, showing the display that is at hand today. Keep the compliment if you have to compliment the staff, for instance. Keep the compliments within what's going on here. Why do you have to bring a subject about, for example, like being a rough driver on the road when we are, talking about the show of the clothes today? Why do you have to bring up an issue about, say, for example, just how terrible a cook, one of the employees, happens to be here? We are actually looking at the cloth wares and shoes and so on. So, like, keep it within what is going on. It's safer that way. And then also just be very careful with whatever it is you're going to say. Like, the way we have some people who just say something that comes to their mind first and think about it later. Like in this particular case, when the person you want to compliment happens to have a disability, happens to be living with a disability, you want to be very careful with what you want to say. And again, I could never emphasize this enough. Keep it on the subject at hand. Number 2, keep it on the skills. Keep it on the abilities the person has, the PWD has. Keep it on the strengths that they have, and now specifically that they are actually showing or exuding at the event, and not go divulging, and so on. So that's how actually it will keep it just relevant, by me making sure, first of all, number 1, you really don't have to compliment me if I happen to have a disability. Like, I didn't come here for a compliment. So if you're not very sure of what you want to say, then you really don't have to play like you have to give me a compliment. And number 2, if you really have to be, then yes, stay relevant to what is going on. And number 2, make sure, even if you know me from here to Timbuktu and you know my other weaknesses and so on, like, don't try bringing it now. Keep it to my abilities, to my skills, number 1. Number 2, to the event that is at hand. Okay. I thought I needed to mention that because, every human being, like I said, we just feel good when someone notices your effort, when someone notices your attention to some of these things. And then it feels good when they get to tell you. So, and this also involves our people who happen to be living with a disability here and there. That could be, for example, let's say someone happens to be using only one hand or one foot, Keep any compliment around what I lack. Keep any compliment around what I struggle with. We have some people who just make some very silly statements, for lack of a better word. Say, for example, like the last time you met me, I actually was just recovering from, say, an asthmatic attack or an epileptic seizure. And then now this time you're meeting me in this event, a conference, a workshop and so on. Why do you have to bring up a subject relating to the last time you saw me when I was, on the floor, probably having my seizures and so on? It has no connection with this, and you want to keep that off. Statements like, for example, you look so different actually when you're not having your epileptic attacks, something like that. It's like, this is me, the seizure comes when it comes. Some of those statements where you might think you're being light, say, for example, because you were there and you helped me during my attack and so on. Like, you don't have to bring that up. We are in a different space. We are celebrating or, working on a totally different thing, you don't have to bring that up. Or, you know, just those sometimes, I don't know, almost like insensitive statements you will make, like, okay, you look so good, and oh, I like your handbag. Is this what you use to carry your inhaler? Or is this the bag you use to carry your, you know, assistive device or something like that? You might think you're being light, but no, you are not being light, you're not being funny. So avoid anything in the name of a compliment that is more like going towards my lack, or, you know, my assistive device, or my you know, my disability and so on. It's safer that way. Okay, asante sana for your time. I hope this helps someone, just to know that, you know what, it's okay to compliment when you have a right compliment to someone, and it's okay not to compliment me when you really don't have something, you know, helpful to tell me. It's okay if you just keep quiet. You really don't have to compliment me, so don't feel awkward when you don't. Asante sana for your time, and especially for my returning subscribers. Let's keep rolling, let's keep moving with this journey. And for the first timers, please remember to like, share and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video.